right, shalom, shalom. I'm the brother Marakab. But first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kadash, the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Akim out there that pushes this truth with nothing but sincerity in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. So today's camp, though, I want to speak about, judgment being here, because judgment is here, and it's been going around, though. And the thing about it, though, is a lot of people don't got fear. They don't got fear of the Most High, though, which his name is Yahweh, and begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, though, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, And the thing about it, though, is, see, because this devil presented you this sweet Jesus, this Caucasian-looking nigga, though, you know what I'm saying? With this Caucasian-looking person, though. And sweet Jesus, he don't tell you about the judgment, though. You know what I'm saying, though? All he does is receive people with open arms, though, and that's about it, you know? But the true power, which his name is Yahweh, if a power is the power of, what does it call him? Man of the Lord, war, you know? And the thing about it, though, is that this is the same power because in Malachi 3 and 6, it talks about he doesn't change, though, you know? So how it, you know, the Israelites, though, feared the Most High, though, man. These other heathen nations feared the Most High. But now we're in a generation of time, though, where even within our people, they don't fear the Most High, you know? And that's the thing about it, though, man. So the thing is, though, is we're in a time of judgment, though, that been going on, though, man. And you got this whole thing that happened in Venezuela, though, when, they, DJ Trump, though, had his military go over there, and took that shit, took Venezuela and bombed it. And took the president and his wife, though, of Venezuela, But it's all a psyop, though, where, they're talking about this was drug trafficking drugs and shit like that, though. But it's the same fucking country, the same government that provides the drugs to these other countries and shit, So it's the devil, though, man. But the thing about it, though, is he'll present it, though, as in like this a different way, though, talking about he was a big drug trafficker and this and that. You know what I mean, though? So that was just an excuse for them to go into the country, though. You know what I mean? Because all they want, though, is the oil, because Venezuela is a country that produces a lot of oil, though, next to Saudi Arabia and things like that, That's the same shit that they did with 9/11, though, when the so-called, the T's, though, they, crashed the planes into the Twin Towers, though. But all we know was, how is it that the people that were there that day near the towers, though, said they heard an explosion, though, So it's all a psyop, though, when it comes down to, what they call it, the Black Swan events. That's all it is, though, man, So that's the thing about it, though. So if, like I said, we're in a time of judgment, though. And the thing about it, though, is if the people don't fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, though, they're gonna do what they want, man. That so-called free will spirit, though, of just doing what the fuck they want, man. Especially here in America. Here in America, they let you do what the hell they want, though, man. Which makes sense because, these women from the different countries want to come here in America because they want to have their freedom, though, to just be what? Whores, man. To do what the fuck they want, though. Because knowing down well in the other country, they weren't able to do so whatever the hell they want, though. But here in America, it's always ladies first, though, man, But, in another country, it's not like that, man, which goes into order, which goes into the scripture, which I'll get right now, actually. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 11 and 9, it says, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. You see? So the woman was created for the man, So ain't no such thing as this fucking ladies first, though, man, because the woman was created for the man, And there's other scriptures I could go into, though. You see? So, but this country, it's like they advertise the woman to be first, though, man. You know what I'm saying, though? And these women get the great idea to think that they can do whatever the fuck they want, man. divorce their man. Because in the scriptures, it doesn't talk about the woman giving the divorce bill. It's the man that gives the divorce bill to the woman, though, man. If the man doesn't want to deal with the woman no more, he's the one that gives that divorce bill, not the other way around, though. So it's all backwards in this country, man. So that's why this country needs to burn, man. Because we're in those times, man, where wickedness is spread about, though. So let me get a. Please, Second Ezra 8 and is it Second Ezra 8 and 54? But yeah, like I said, we live at a time though where judgment. See, a lot of people think that the judgment that they'll get though is when they pass away and they burn in the so-called flame though. And that's not the case though, because a lot of people are scared to die because they believe that they're gonna burn in so-called hell though, man. Which hell in reality is the grave, which is the ground though, man. You know what I'm saying though? Hell is a condition though, but in reality, people fear to die because that's when they're already thinking like, oh shit, I didn't live righteously in my life though. I'm gonna go to this, place where I'm gonna burn eternally though. Which it doesn't make fucking sense though, because I got Ecclesiastes 3 and I believe it's 16. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 3 and 16 it says, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment. You know, so aren't we under the sun? We're under the sun. Because what it's talking about is the earth, though. You know, because what aren't we under the sun though? Because it says, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. See, I didn't talk about the spiritual realm where what I'm saying, people's spirits though are being burned though. You know what I mean though? Because that's ridiculous. Because the Octo had a point. He said a long time ago. He said, "How can a spirit burn though?" You know what I'm saying though? How can a spirit burn? It's a spirit. The flesh, the meat, man. The flesh is what burns though, man. But how's the spirit burn though? You know what I'm saying though? So it doesn't make sense. And it says that wickedness was there and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. See? So you can't tell me in this whole earth though there ain't no fucking wickedness though, man. Especially with this devil in charge though. This devil ruling the world right now. There's a bunch of wickedness that go everywhere, man. It's spread abroad though. So when someone dies though and things like that though, if they die a horrific way, or when they die a horrific way, that was their judgment though, man. Because once they die though and everything, the soul goes up, man. The spirit goes up though. And therefore, they good though, man. They ain't gonna fucking suffer though. And that's even from the heathen too though. If a heathen dies and shit though, guess what? His spirit just goes up though, and that's it. You know, and then reincarnation though, they get put in a different body though throughout time though. You know what I'm saying though? And then if, like I said, they could get judged again though. the, you know, so it's just the will of the Most High how He wants to do you. You could be healthy. You could be a wicked ass person, be healthy, lived up to like 100 years, right? You don't got an infirmity. You lived a so-called good life though, whatever the case be though. But then in your next life though, you're born with three arms and shit, man. You're born blind though. You're born, something happens to you. You know, that's why people wonder though. Is like why like what's it called though? Like why are kids born with three eyes? Why is the baby born and then he dies of 3 months later or even 2 hours later the baby dies of? You know what I'm saying? People have these questions and ask, why though? Why this? Well, because that baby was a full-grown person though, man, and he most likely committed a bunch of wickedness though, man, when he was an adult though, in his past life though, you know. But see, that's too deep though, man. That's too deep for people though, man. You know what I'm saying though? So that's the thing though, man. So when we come about to this word though, the truth though, man, because we don't even know what we did in our past lives though, man. You know what I'm saying though? But we pray to the Most High that, we don't get judged though, man. That's why if you fear the Most High though, if you're an Israelite or even more if you're the elect though, The elect's is gonna be out there prophesying though, man. You know what I'm saying though? He's gonna have his camp. He's gonna make videos. He's gonna be out there prophesying though, man, because he feared the Most High though. Because let me get Proverbs the first chapter though. You know. Yeah, let me get it. Yeah, Proverbs 1:20. It says, "Wisdom crieth wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets." You know, and that's going into the prophets that teaching the word out in the highways and byways though. You know, because how is it that you gotta think about it? How is it that you're gonna hear a voice though, man, in the street, like a little voice though, looking around, like, wait, where's that voice coming from? You know what I'm saying though? Have you ever driven down the street though and just heard a voice from the sky, or just heard a voice? Nah, man. So this voice though, he says she uttereth her voice, the wisdom, right? Which the wisdom we get from Yahweh Shema Shai. It says she uttered her voice in the streets. That's talking about the prophets though. They're out there in the highways and byways teaching his word though. You know. It says she crieth in the chief place of concourse. You know, like the markets though. You know, where it's busy, like traffic. You know, and things like that though, man. So those are the place of chief concourse. You know, the busy. You know, like going into like the markets and in the place where it's busy. You know, people, traffic. You know, things like that. You know, and it says in the opening of the gates in the city she uttered her words, saying, "How long, you simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and the fools hate knowledge." See. So how long you simple ones are gonna, just continue with your wickedness, man? You know, because you know what, our people, going into our, going into our people, it's like they like to stay asleep though, man. They wouldn't want to wake up to the truth though, man. You know, because it says, and fools hate knowledge though. You see, and fools hate knowledge though, because they want to stay fools, man. They don't want to know this knowledge though, because it'll be too hard for them, man. Because when you come to this truth though, there's a judgment that you have to do, man. You know what I mean? You gotta think different. You gotta eat different. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know charity. You gotta know all these other things, man. You can't be out there in the world no more like how you used to, though, man. And see, the people can't. Our people can't let go of the world, man. You know, they don't be like Lot's wife, though. You know. And then it says 23. It says, "Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you." See? So the true prophets, the elect out there, is going to be speaking this truth, though, man. Righteously, though. And good, man. You know? Because it says, "I will pour out my spirit unto you." So the elect is out there with the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai teaching the word, though, man. And that's the thing, though. So the elect is out there teaching the word, man. Because it says, where does it say? Yeah, let me keep reading. "Because I have called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded it," though. Yeah, because we out there teaching the word though, and we're not expecting to have a whole crowd or anything. You know what I'm saying though? We're not expecting to have a whole crowd or anything like that. You know what I'm saying though? But the thing about it though is the fact that we're making our body the living sacrifice and coming out here, we're stretching our hand out, Or the Most High is using us as His hand, stretching, to get to you, though. You know what I'm saying, though? But the fact of the matter is, I'm not saying we're the right hand, because the right hand is Yahweh Shai, though, But He's using us as His hand right now to reach to you people, though. You know what I'm saying, though? So that's the thing about it, though. Because it says, "Because I have called and you refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, though." You know? So you got to think about it, though, man. It's not like the Most High is going to have His hand literal. It's not literal. Have a hope. Imagine you see a big ass hand though in the sky though, coming down like this. It's not talking about that. It's talking about He using us as His hand to reach to you, man, by preaching His word though. You know. And it says, But ye has said at not on my counsel and would not of my reproof. So you're not gonna listen though, man. You're not hearing us out, you know? Then it says 26, Proverbs 1:26, it says, I also will laugh at your calamity, and I will mock when your fear cometh. Yeah, because you didn't listen to the prophets, though, man. So therefore, when judgment is coming unto you, therefore the Most High, is gonna, laugh at your calamity, man. The prophets, when we see judgment and things like that taking place, though, we smile and like the nigga get, man. We laugh though, man. You know, and that's the thing about it, though. You know, because the fact that what you didn't want to listen though, so therefore when your fear cometh though, and whatever fear cometh to you though, the Most High is gonna laugh at your calamity, man. See, so the Most High ain't nothing nice though, nothing to play with though, because judgment is here, man. It's been here though, man, but it's just getting intensifies though, intensifies more, man. You know what I'm saying though? So that's the thing about it though, man, because you be seeing a lot of judgment, man. Over here at the valley though, you be seeing, the people drowning canals. And you know what I'm saying though, it was unheard of 20 years ago, but now it's becoming a common thing though, man. Like judgment, not just that though, the drowning though, and these car wrecks though, these people getting shot, and killed or stabbed though. You know what I'm saying though? All these things are becoming a common thing though. When in reality, 20 years, I'm speaking though, man. 20 years though, it wasn't like that, man. Because 20 years, I'm old enough. 20 years ago, I was old enough to remember things. I was a teenager though. I was like 15 though. 20 years ago, I was 15. So yeah, I was old enough to remember times were different though. But if you're talking about 30 years ago, I can't really tell you in the 90s though, because in the 90s I was a kid, man. My mind was on kid things though. You know what I mean though? But I remember as a kid, man, it was more innocent though. You know. But like I said, who knows, man? You know what I'm saying? As a kid, I was as a kid, a 90s kid though, because I was literally born on 1990 though. So there was no internet, man. You know what I'm saying, though? So we saw what we watched on TV and outside. We don't watch TV, go outside though. We had no internet though. You know what I'm saying, though? So it was simpler times. The summers were longer and things like that, man. And if you notice though, time is moving fast though, man, because that's also a prophecy too though. Because let me get that real quick. Matthew's 24 and 22, it says, and except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. See? So the time is coming fast, though, for the elect's sake, though. Because if we're still here being ruled by this devil, man, we'll all be dead, though, man. Because you know how these devils work, though, man. These motherfuckers are going to nuke each other, man. Which that's part of the prophecy and Revelation and in these other books, too, though. That the destruction of ICBM missiles, man, coming to here, man, coming to Israel, though, man. So that's the thing about it, though, man, because if we continue to live here and this devil being ruling over us, though, man, we'll all be dead, man. But you know what? But the 1/3, though, is going to be saved, though, man. And 2/3 of our people here in America are going to get destroyed, though, man. They're going to get killed, though. So that's all things about it, though, man. Because we can't say that, everyone's happy in this world, man. Ain't nobody fucking happy in this world, man. You know what I'm saying, though? Unrighteous decrees, though, going out, though, and things like that, man. You know what I'm saying, though? And guess what? Let me get this one because I wanted to get this one, man. Malachi 3 and 6, it says, "For I am the Most High," right? Because it's Lord, and Lord is in caps still, so it's talking about the Most High Yahweh. It says, "I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." See, so you know what I'm saying. The Most High is about for the Israelites, though, man. See, but the key part though is he does not change though. He does not change though. He's the same power from before, after, and forever, man. You see? Because it's the thing about it though. So if you really think about it, right? If you really think about it, is it the same power from before the time of what? Noah. The time of Noah when 8 souls were lived though, and the rest of the fucking world were perished though. You know what I'm saying though? So you think about that time though, man. The time when Noah, when everybody died though, except for 8 souls though. You know, Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying though? when it was just literally Lot and his two daughters though. Because the wife wanted to look back though, and she did though, and she got turned to this pillar of salt, man. So all those people in the cities though, all those people in the cities, they died though. You know what I'm saying though? Except for Lot and his two daughters though. So this is the same power though, man. You know what I'm saying though? So let me get Ezekiel 9 and 4. Yeah, Ezekiel 9 and 4. It says, and the Most High said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, though. You know what I'm saying, though? And these men are the men of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying, though? Because this is the set a mark, which the word mark in this precept talks about exception. You know, it is a mark of exception, though. You know what I mean? It's locked. And it says, and to the others, he said in my hearing, go ye after him to the city and smite. See, smite. You know, let me read this in the NLT though. Yeah, Ezekiel 9 and 5 in the NLT. It says, then I heard the Lord say to it's the Lord going back to in capsules talking about the Most High. Say to the other men, follow him through the city and kill everyone whose forehead is not marked. So it's marked ED. Show no pity. Slakia says in the city and kill everyone whose forehead is not marked. Show no mercy and have no pity. See, because look at the NLT, man. It doesn't hold back though, because it says kill them all, old and young and girls and women and little children, but do not touch anyone with the mark. Begin right here at the temple. So they began by killing 70 leaders. See, it says kill them all, old and young, girls and women and little children. Though, you see, and that's the thing about it, though, man. So it says have show no mercy and no pity, though. See, and this is the same power, though, man. So he gave a command, though, to the angels. You know, I believe it said right. I believe he gave the command to the angels to set a mark, though, upon those men, though. Because the thing about it, though, is, and guess what? Which I'll get this one too. There's the spirit of vengeance, though, man. Which I'll get right now, though. So, but see, it says, have no mercy, have no pity. As in, go all force, man. Do what you got to do. Kill these, people, though, man. See? So when you talking about this type of topic, though, a lot of people are sensitive about it, though. How is God going to kill children? How is God going to kill women, though? Young women, though, man. Well, he's done it before, and he's going to fucking do it again, man. You know? Because he has the spirits, though, man. He has the spirits, though, which I'll get right now. Yeah, Sirach also spoke the Elasticus 39 and 28. And it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sword strokes in the time of destruction. See? In the time of destruction. You know? It says, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And who made them? Yahweh, though, man. Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, though, man. Or Yahweh. Also known as the Father of spirits. So, because it says, there will be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in the fury lay on, which fury, it's indignation, man. So righteous anger, though. It says, on sword strokes in the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. See? So they're sent, man. They're angels that are sent out there to pass judgment, to do judgment, better yet, on people, man. And that's just the way it is, though, man. Because it's the same power, though. It's the same power from before, the same power after, man. Because there's a movie called, I think it's called The Mist or The Fog. I remember seeing this movie a long time ago, and they're trapped like in a supermarket, though. And there's like this so-called religious, woman, though, and she said, though, this is the same power of the God of Israel, something like that, something to do with that. She said, "This is the power. This is the God of Israel that was doing all." Because those in that movie though, it's a bunch of like I believe it's like creatures in the midst though that are killing people, man. You know what I'm saying though? You can see the you know what I'm saying like the judgment passing on though, man. These creatures kill the people like nothing though. You know what I'm saying though? And there's people trapped in the supermarket. That's what goes into that scripture. Goes into fear. I will fear your calamity because there was a lady. I believe she said that. Oh, I left my 8-year-old with my 3-year-old. You know what I'm saying? It was a lady though. She said I left my. She had an 8-year-old taking care of my 3-year-old because she's like, I was just gonna come to the supermarket thinking nothing was like this was gonna go down. You know what I'm saying though? Because she was, about her day. She was just thinking that she was just gonna go to the supermarket, get some food though, or get whatever though, and come back to her kids though, which one was 8 years old and the other was 3, because she had the 8-year-old be taking care of the 3-year-old while she had gone to the store, man. You see what I'm saying though? So it just things like that, man. You gotta think though, because why? Because judgment will pass on her unexpectedly, because I believe that's a scripture though. When they come, what is it? Is it in First Thessalonians, the 4th chapter? Let me just look for it real quick though. Is it 4 where it talks about the Most High will come and expect the judgment will come unexpectedly though. I think it's like Let me just look for it real quick. It talks about the judgment coming unexpectedly though. It's in Matthew 24. No, it's like I forgot though which was that. I believe it was Thessalonians though. But anyways, the Most High is gonna like a thief at night. I think it's like a thief at night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get that. I believe it's in Thessalonians though. That will come like a thief at night. Oh, it was actually Second Peter 3:10. Yeah, second. This is a good one though. Second Peter 3:10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, but in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with a fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are within shall be burned up." It's going into the ICBMs, man, the destruction of this place right here, man. So you see what I'm saying? But the day of the Lord will come as a thief at the night. So you don't even know what to expect it though, man. You know, and that judgment is gonna come with the ICBMS is coming over here and destroying this place though, man. You see, everyone's judgment is different than others, man. You know what I'm saying? Because before the ICBM missiles, man, some people are getting judged already as it is though, man. You know what I mean though? Your judgment could come as you get an infirmity and never recovering from it and dying actually from it though, or a beast though, like a pack of dogs though coming out of nowhere, attacking you, killing you. Your judgment could come as a car accident or some shit though, man. You know what I'm saying though? Or your judgment could come as with ICBM missiles, man, hitting you. You know. So therefore, you never know. You never know how your judgment comes though. That's why it's a fear, man. You gotta have that fear, man, because the fear creates a balance for you to live your day how you're supposed to, man. Because let me get Elasticus 12 and 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of men." You see? And guess what? And our people ain't doing that though, man. Our people ain't doing holding the commandments of the Most High though, man. Our people ain't doing that. They're doing the opposite though, man. See, and that's the whole matter of man though. Talking about Israelite man, you know, because it says, let me get 14, because it says, for God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. And that's a good one after actually. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See? So that's the thing about it though, man. So if you're doing the work though diligently, and you could be you could go out there, because that's the thing about it though, man. You could go out in front of the camera though, in front, like if you're, this so-called holy brother, man, you know, and things of the matter though, but be off camera how you really is, man. You know what I'm saying though? How you really is behind camera though, man. Because off camera, that's important too, man. I mean, it's important to edify and prophesy, of course, though, prophesy and edify through the camera, of course, though, but off camera too, you got a reputation too as a man of the Lord, man. Because you know what I mean? How is it that you just say you're being a wicked ass nigga and you're like, hey, doesn't that guy give the honors to great millstone? You're gonna try to stain the name. No, like, you're not gonna look good, man. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, hey, doesn't that guy give the honors to great millstone? You know what I'm saying though? That's not gonna look good though, man. You see what I'm saying though? So off camera too, man, you gotta move, man. You gotta move with the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Because if you're doing it on camera, you're just a studio brother, man. You know what I'm saying though? Just like to say how in the world they say studio gangster though. Yeah, man, you're just a studio, you know what I mean, brother, man. Because in real life, man, you ain't real, man. You ain't a real brother, man. How you conduct yourself though, how you do things though, how you move yourself though, because you got to think about it, man. There's how they say 24 hours in the day. Yeah, you could do a lesson though. It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, or when you come out once a week though to camp though, or there's brothers that come out twice a week though, and you do it for a couple hours though. But then if you think about it, man, it's like you still got what 26 hours. You got 27 hours out of the day still. Of course you sleep too though. But I'm just saying though, like, what are you doing, man? Because you're doing this for some hours though. You're doing this for hours though. But then it's like with the rest of the day though, what the hell are you doing though, man? That's why it tells you right here. That's why it tells you right here. For God shall bring every work into judgment, and for every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be bad. So if you're not being righteous in the spirit though, guess what? The Most High will know, man. And then, like I said, what have been in the truth though, I've seen people just their secrets though, whatever you want to call them though, right? Come out to the light though, man. You know what I'm saying though? Like there was an elder from the what was it though? What was this elder from Pittsburgh, I believe? He was in the truth for a while though, man. But then you know what I'm saying though, he wasn't, and that's a scary thing though. He was in the truth for a while though, and next thing he fall off though, man. You know what I'm saying though? He falls off though. And that's a scary thing though, because that dude was an elder though, man. That dude was an elder though. So for him, just like well, it wasn't him though. It was the Most High though that gave him that spirit though. And he fell off though, man. You know what I'm saying though. And then I believe the brothers in Pittsburgh still had like mercy. Like, hey man, you gotta come to council and talk about what I'm saying though, what's going on. He never. I believe the other elder said he never came though. But whatever case though, but anyways, he had opportunities, he had chances though, man, that the brothers gave him though, and he didn't attempt himself, man. So it's like you're not putting your work though. How is it supposed to help you though? You can't help yourself though. If you don't want to help yourself, I mean, how are it supposed to help you? You know what I'm saying though? And what the brothers from Pittsburgh did was right though, man, to bring the matter to the council though, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's actually let me get it real quick though. Matthew's 18. Yeah, Matthew's 18 and 15, it says, Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. Just like pull him to the side though. Hey, brother, let me talk to you real quick, bro. Let me talk to you, brother. And it says, and go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. If you hear you out, If he took himself accountable for what he did or what he said or whatever the case be though, whatever the case is though, they're like, you know what, hey brother, you're right though. I should have not done that. I should not said that though. You know, all right. Then it's like, okay, you guys came into conclusion though, man. Right? See, it's as simple as that, man. It's not hard, man. It's as simple as pulling the brother to the side though and like, hey brother, let me talk to you real quick, or even a phone call, whatever, man. You know, hey brother, let me talk to you though. You know, and hey, this and that. Like, oh, okay, you know. And that's the thing about it though, man. Because like I said, there was a matter of things where you know what I'm saying, I was incorrect on certain things though. The Ak corrected me though, you know. Oh, this and that. I'm like, oh, okay. Now he just corrected me, but he broke it down, and then he told me the matter, and like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying though? I didn't give him an evil eye though. I didn't give the brother an evil eye or nothing like that. You know, I gained the brother, man, because the fact of the matter is, I mean, yeah, because it was like, man, you're looking out, man. The fuck am I gonna be a demon for? Go up against you on some shit, man. You know, on some stupid shit, man. You know. So it says, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. See? And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it into the church though. But if he neglect to hear the church, they him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. You see? So that's the thing about it though, man. If you don't hear the matter, if these brothers say, nah, you're at the wrong though, from you hear out from 3 or 4 other brothers though, yeah, then you gotta just hold yourself accountable for it and be like, you know what, oh yeah, bro, you guys are right, man. You know what I'm saying though? But if you don't want to hear the church, the whole camp though, then you know what I'm saying? Go about, you know, we're gonna treat you as a heathen or publican, man. You know what I'm saying though? Like, bro, we telling you, bro. We telling you, all it's not just only me, it's these other brothers too. You know, they're telling you also what I'm talking to you about though. You know what I'm saying though? And that's a scary thing though, man. That's a scary demon to have though, man. To go up against the brothers, man. You know what I'm saying though? That's a scary demon though, man. So that's the thing though, man. So you know, it's a scary thing. You know how it tells you in the scriptures though. You know, Hebrews 10:31 it says, "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power though, man, because you know they could give you a reprobate spirit though, or could judge you. You know what I'm saying though, and things like that, man. But it's a scary thing though, you know, to lose your soul, man, to go on the other side, man, because the brothers made a video about this brother that was in GMS though, and this nigga over there getting baptized in water or some shit, man, by the Christians though. You know what I'm saying though? These this motherfucker is being going into the water though, getting dunked into the water or the lake wherever he was at though, and becoming a Christian or whatever, you know. So it's like, damn, man, that guy was I believe he was in Great Millstone, man. That guy, see. So it goes to show, man, like all these people that were in Great Millstone, when they leave, man, like it doesn't end well. Look at the dude from Boston. He got like 10 years though, man. You know what I'm saying though? When you fall out this truth though, man, it's a scary thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at fucking that Elazar, man. The Sakari dude, man. That guy, you know what I mean? That guy is just something else, man. And his minions too, man. You know, his two that used to be his minions though. Look at those guys, man. That the heathens could get saved though. So it goes to show, man, when you get out, when you know it's a scary thing, man. And scriptures that talk about scary thing though, man. When you leave this though, when you leave the truth though, it's a scary thing though. You know, I just seen the brothers camp though, and he said like man, because they were talking about that same elder from Pittsburgh. You're like, man, imagine. Well, the brother said, imagine though, man, you only got one more day to. I believe he said it. He worded it like this though. You know, you got one more day to, to retirement, right? Just give an example. You worked at some place for 19 years, and you got like one more day to retire, something like that, and you refuse to, you do something though, man. You only had like one more day to retire though. You were working at a company for 20 years or some shit, man, and you just, so and I understand though because it's the same thing. We see all these judgments, you see all these prophecies happening and things like that though, and you leave, man. You know. So if anything, your spirit should be stronger, man. You'd be like, man, like you see it coming though, as it is though, you know. So you should be, more stronger in the truth though, man. Doing the work though, diligently though, man. Praying to praying to have the spirit of Yahweh Shai, though, man, never to leave your soul. Because even King David said that, though, which is, I believe it's Psalms 51. Oh, yeah. Psalms 51 and 11, it says, "Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me." See? Man, take not thy Holy Spirit from me. You know what I'm saying, though? Because it's a scary thing. Like I said, you see dudes bug the fuck out, man, after they leave. You know? Either they get judged, though, or they bug the fuck out, man. They up in prison, or dead, or bugged out in the street, though, or just, man. So it's a scary thing, man, to lose the Holy Spirit, though, man. You know what I'm saying, though? So that's the thing about it, though, man. So, like I said, I wanted to make this camp about judgment, though, man, that it's here, you know? And it's continue, intensifying, So with that, hopefully the camp was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Kakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. With that, I want to say, Shalom.